Yeah, it was a sloppy game. I thought if you're looking at both sides of the ball defensively, we were pretty strong. Um, thought Jeff Cameron was outstanding tonight. Um, Obi really grew into the game. Did a really good job in the middle of the field, helping us to win some balls and deal with the duels. Overall, with the ball, we were subpar. Whether it was decision making on the ball, poor hold up play, we just didn't get enough out of our attack on the evening to be able to put them under a little bit more pressure on a consistent basis. So on a night where we weren't good with the ball, I think it's good that we were able to defend in a strong way and see out the game to make sure we get a point.
We'll get to questions starting with you, Pat Brennan.
Pat, I think under most circumstances, you take a draw in this venue against this team, particularly how they are this year. Does the playoff situation change how you frame that in your mind or view the outcome at all?
Not really. I think on the road, it's still good to get a point. We have to think of it in those terms where when you're not playing your best, despite being up early, it's still a good point. If we take care of our results at home and can, sneak a result on the road, I think it positions us well. So certainly we know we need to take care of our matches at home, but it's still important to get points on the road at this stage to keep us in the mix.
Yeah, I should have asked you this up front, but I'm trying to tee you up anything, but the decision for PK, did you have a problem with that?
I've looked at it, it's tough.
Yeah.
I think you have to look at the particular play and say, is it clear and obvious? And, I could go either way. Again, if that happened on the other side and we were able to get a penalty, I think it's one that could go either way, to be quite honest, because, the player's going to ground. I don't think he really takes him down, but, we get a piece of him. And so it's unfortunate, but, that was the disappointing part, is that was really the difference. And, it feels unfair in that regard. Again, they had some chances, we had some half chances, but it's just a tough situation as far as maybe losing a little bit of momentum with the goal lead and how we conceded.
And it's probably fair to say on a night when Lucho, Brandon, Brenner maybe labored to find a foothold in this match. Do you think that was a concerted effort by New York to kind of lock down on them, take them out of the match, or did they just individually struggle themselves to get into it?
Combination, certainly, because I think there was moments where when it came to some duels and being stronger and holding the ball up, I thought their back line did a really good job of making life difficult for our front three. But then there were some moments where we found some space and we were able to get those guys on the ball with the opportunity to move us forward. And then in those moments, I thought whether it was, poor pass, poor decision, poor, technically, we let ourselves down in those ways as well. So I think it was a combination on the evening that certainly, frustrated our attack.
All right, we'll go to the Zoom now. Laurel Failer.
Thank you. When Obi picked up the yellow card, with that making him unavailable next weekend, how did that impact your thinking with your subs? Did you feel like you needed to get Junior out at that point to make sure you've got one of those starting defensive midfielders, or did you consider taking Lucho out? I'm just kind of wondering how you prioritize those kind of situations.
No, I mean, Obi was gonna to see out the game regardless of the yellow and regardless of his availability for next weekend. The junior was just to get some fresh legs and see if we could get Yuya in positions to break some pressure with a team that really runs to the ball in a direct way. Could he be the one to kind of break open a player or two going to goal with his quality with the ball? And then it was a combination too of just where Junior's been in terms of his recovery. we were looking at guys that we thought with fatigue setting in, we would want to make some changes. But yeah, that didn't have to do with the yellow card with the move with, taking Junior off.
And then what was it like to see Matt Miazga score in his old home? And then also he seemed to be pointing at his hamstring on the broadcast as he came off. Was he dealing with some tightness, or was that the plan to take him out at that point, just managing his workload?
No, the plan wasn't to take him out because I thought he looked really strong, but he was tightening up, so it was more precautionary in making that change. So I think he knows his body and knows where he's at physically, and certainly wants to be available in this stretch run. So just a precautionary move.
What about his goal? Can you tell us a little bit just what that was for him? What did that mean for him? Could you tell?
You could tell it was, that meant a lot, obviously, being at his former club, and some off the field stuff, which you might have seen from the celebration. It was more, you see an asset on set pieces, and he did a good job to attack that wide free kick and get it on frame. So it just gives us another weapon on those set pieces, and another way to, score goals, on a night where we weren't sharp in the run of play. He provided an important goal for us.
Obviously, when you're coming into the game and you're leading 1-0, you'd like to, continue to close that out. But we're playing away. They're a difficult team. They work hard. They make it difficult with their style of play. I thought we defended really well. But a lot of things to also work on and continue to progress. So now we just got to, recover our bodies and start working hard again in training this week to prepare for Columbus, which is another derby. But ultimately, yeah, disappointed with the draw. But if you look back, they were on us for, a good portion of the game. We had our moments, but I think we could have, been a bit more composed as a team.
What were your expectations for yourself coming back to Red Bull Arena for the first time in league play? And how did reality match up with what you were hoping for?
Yeah, and I was hoping to be at 3 points. I could walk off with 3 points. I'd rather get a clean sheet than score a goal, to be honest. But yeah, it was nice to be back. It was a weird feeling at first, because I was always on the other side of the locker room, and this is where I grew up. I was here since I was a kid, going to games as a ball boy, as a fan, and then going as a homegrown and playing a lot of minutes, and then leaving. So I always hold Red Bull in my heart. But now it's FC Cincinnati, and I'm disappointed that we couldn't get the 3 points, because I think that was the most important thing on my mind and our minds.
Laurel, we'll go to you.
Congratulations on the goal. I know you had mentioned when you first talked with us, when you signed with the team, that you were kind of ready to settle down and start a family. So I was wondering about your goal celebration. Was that an announcement to?
Yeah, that was a nice little announcement. I don't score much goals, so if I get a goal, I gotta. It was a nice moment, because my family was in the stands, and that was the first news that they heard of it. So yeah, we're excited. So we just have to keep focused and keep the good prayers.
So you were really hoping for a goal today, to be able to tell them it that way. That's quite a way.
Yeah, that was always in the back of my mind. But ultimately, like I said, the clean sheet would have been a bit nicer.
On a night when the attack just wasn't at its best, that's been a strong suit for the team this year, and they really struggled. Only 3 shots on goal for FC Cincinnati's attack. I guess what did that do for you guys on defense? How much more were you guys feeling kind of that pressure to kind of lock things down and make sure you guys could get that point?
Yeah, they obviously have their style of play that everybody knows about. They're hardworking, they're pressing high, and they're very direct, putting balls in the channels and making a lot of runs. So it was important for us to be organized, cover each other, and stay focused defensively, and then try to get the ball to our attackers. At moments we could have done it better, coming from the back, and at times the whole team could have kept the ball a bit easier. You saw spells where we kept the ball and we were able to break them down and beat their press and then kind of move it side to side and advance in our play. But a lot of times we weren't able to do that, and they were able to dictate the play. But we're playing away. It's a tough place to come. And I thought defensively we've done well.